I used to run.
When's your birthday?
I used to run a cafe, right? And we used to call them the older generation used to come in for food, right? And we had this one particular guy, Bill. I'm so worried about that.
Yeah, it's now dripping.
It's now dripping. Oh.
Carry on.
And he would come in and he'd have his food and he'd tell us stories about, him and his wife because she'd passed away. And it's beautiful. And he was English.
Yep.
And we're not racist. We used to get all the flags.
When anyone says, I'm not racist, but...
I didn't say but. We used to get all the flags out for St. George's Day and we'd make him a little cake.
Well, that's English. Great.
Exactly, yeah. So
you're in Wales.
I'm
Is that what
in
you're saying?
Wales,
Right,
yeah,
fine.
Right?
Okay.
So because
It's
we used to have banter because he was Scottish, he was. So
you were racist to him because he was Scottish?
No.
You just called it banter.
It was banter.
Carry on.
So he used to go and he'd leave his mate and he'd always... What?
I'm listening, mate.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Okay. And I got all worried.
I was listening. Go on.
And will you stop doing that?
Go on, carry on.
And he would he'd pay with his shrapnel always for his food, never a note because he was tight, right? And then he'd go, right, Karen, I can't do the accent. I'll see you tomorrow. That's Irish.
Guy from Jamaica, apparently, in Wales.
There's loads. And
that's racist. we can't add that now.
Is that racist? There's loads of Jamaicans in Cardiff.
Okay, but the way you said it, you were like, oh, there's loads.
I was the only white person when I grew up. So
No, it's racism! Stop it!
It's not.
Of course it's not. Go on.
Can I get to the end of this story? It's not even funny now.
Go on.
And he used to say, I'd say, see you tomorrow then, Bill. And he'd go, oh, if I'm unlucky enough to wake up.
If I make it.
No, if I'm unlucky enough to wake up.
I remember my granddad very specifically saying to me one day, he woke up one morning, came out to fix his computer. Well, are you all right? He goes, yeah, I didn't fucking die last night, did I?
Pretty much it, yeah.
So, okay, we got to that point, have we?
Bearing in mind, he was 70.
Wow. Just giving up already.
Giving up already.
Now, when is the age? I'm always going through this. I'm about to hit my midlife crisis, I think, right? 40's knocking on the door. Now, I know you've already been through it, right? but 40's knocking. I'm 40. I'm 38 this year. Fuck, I'm 38 this year.
It's 48, guys.
I'm 38 this year, which means I've got 2.5 years left, really, until I'm 40. 2.5 years, I'll be a month away from 40. And the number 40 doesn't really annoy me or scare me, but it's the signification or the what's the word I'm looking for? It's a point that marks when a man's prime is coming to an end.
Your prime never comes to an end as a man.
Well, it does. Like a 70-year-old man is not in his fucking prime, right?
Yeah, but you still can perform and do.
No, but when I say prime, I mean, I'm a very confident. I'm self-claimed alpha male, right? And as an alpha male, as someone who likes to lead, as someone who likes to be confident around other people, that likes to show direction, as someone who likes to do that, my fear is, when does that end? Right? Now, let me give you an example. I used to work in a pub when I was 18. I turned 18, I got a job in a pub that day. I was obsessed with working in a pub. Crossinghand in Crossinghand near Five Ashes in East Sussex.
Crossinghand in Jamaica.
That's where I met that's where I met my first girlfriend, Julie. He was 38 at the time. I know what you're thinking.
All right, my Julie.
She taught me everything. She was amazing. Still got a great relationship with her, actually. It was brilliant. She lives down the road. And we worked in the pub, and there was a guy in there called John. Now, John was the local, but John was the guy everyone went to fix a problem. Right?
Okay.
He was a bit of a hard nut. He was a bit of a geezer, bit of a lad.
As you do.
He was a labourer. He ran a labouring company. So if anyone needed anything doing,
went to John.
The pub would go to John. Right, so I'd be, pouring pints all night, and people would be coming in and out to see John.
Wow!
Almost, I'd liken it to a mafia boss, but not a mafia. Kind of, yeah. But he was the man.
Yeah.
Right. He was the top dog in the local area.
If you needed something done, you went to John.
He was a big unit. He was fucking frank. You didn't cross him, and if you did cross him, he would find some blokes to come and, he was that kind of guy, right? And I saw him I think he must have been 49, 50 when I first met him, and when I left, he must have been 55-ish, or the last time I saw him, 55. And I remember the first time seeing him thinking, fuck, there's an intimidating guy. There's a guy that knows what he wants from life. There's a guy who's confident. There's a guy who's the community hub. There's a guy who is, you know, he's the prime. He's in his prime. Yeah. He's literally guiding multiple people throughout life, either to help, protect, or fuck over, whatever the thing may be. And then when I saw him at 55, I thought, fuck, you're a shell of a man now.
It doesn't have to
be like that. You're a shell of a man. He couldn't walk properly. He was limping. He had lost all his, I don't want to say aggression or intimidation because it sounds like it's a negative. He lost all his confidence. He lost all his spunk.
Yeah.
Metaphorically and literally. Do you know what I mean? He was just, he was turning into an old man. He wasn't an old man. 55 is not an old man, but he was now on that door.
They do change, but that's when you've
And that's what scares me. That's what I'm fearful of. And I don't know when that day is. Is it 50? Is it 55? Is it 60? Like, and it's the unknown of that number that makes me think that 40 is the traffic light. Rather than green, it's not green at the moment. I can do what the fuck I want within reason, obviously, at the moment. But it feels like it's moving to amber. And then after amber, it's red. We all know that. So that's kind of where I feel like 40 is this kind of 40. You go from green to amber. You've got maybe a decade left.
Listen.
And that's what's fearful. That's what's scary for me.
As long as you've got a good routine
in
place, you keep yourself fit and healthy.
Yeah.
That day will happen when that day just happens.
Now, can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
We can delete this if needed, if it's not something you want to go through with. But as a woman, hitting 40 is a big thing. I remember my mum hitting 40. I've dated girls who were in their late 30s and turned 40. And I always remember it for most women, not everyone, but for most women, it's a more of an indicator because obviously the menopause is shortly to follow. Now, the menopause is obviously a poignant point for women because of fertility. They can no longer have children. Therefore, that chapter is over.
Yeah.
Now, with fertility issues, has that ever been a point in which you worried about? Because you're like, well, I've had fertility issues anyway. Therefore, kids aren't on the agenda anyway. Therefore, am I really worried about the menopause? Has that ever? Can you tell me a little bit more about that thought process?
It goes in waves on that one.
Right.
If you get what I mean, because.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
guys, this is.
Oh, it's now a cow pie.
this is. I'm gonna have to throw this out.
Don't you put it on my head? No, don't put it on my head. Oh my god! So, guys, for me, I don't know whether it was the same for you, but with having fertility issues anyway, not having children at a later age is not really an issue for me. But there was a point where I was having so many issues with. My endometriosis, my adenomyosis, and just general health down there, that they were going to take away my womb and stuff. Now that then made me go, oh, I've got no choice now. They're going to take it away. So I had a moment of, I was just explaining, So I had a moment there, which I turned around to you as well, didn't I? And I said, well, it's going to cost me $7,500 to have my womb taken away. I might just do IVF one last time. Do you remember me saying that to you? And it was just a really bonkers, unthought through process, but that's the only time it's ever bothered me. I have no issue with my age. I have an older husband. I got an older husband who's 8 years older than me, so I've never felt old because he's older than me. Well, the only person that makes me feel old is you, because you remind me constantly that I'm getting older.
Because I'm so young.
But I look younger than you, so hey.
I think you do, actually. Guys, in the comments, who looks younger? Be honest. If it's her, say it. If it's me, say it. But let's ask the opinion. Who's older? Just put 1 or 2 in the comments. Me being 1, of course.
Me being 2.
And her being 2. Because she's second at the end there. So 1 or 2.
It's not. You don't.
Who looks younger?
You do not brag about coming first. Okay, that's just not what you do, ladies. Is there? Just tell him.
Go on.
So yeah. So for me, there is no. I had a bit of a midlife crisis, I think, when I left my job and I came to work for you.
Right.
And I think that was my midlife crisis start of.
Right.
Because then I went and bought a sports car, got myself a bit of Botox, and just generally run around like a teenager. It was brilliant. Loved it, right? It's got a bit calmer now because there's only 2 of us now, so it's calmed down, yeah? But I have no intention of growing old gracefully. I have no intention of quieting down. I have no intention of not being me, and I will be me. I will be that crazy aunt.
Oh, is that the microphone again?
Is it really?
Go on.
I will be that. That's been in your mouth. I don't want to know. I'll be that crazy aunt at every fucking wedding, and I will be the crazy woman down the road who's got fucking blue hair and just runs around like a teenager. I don't care.
Next question, right? Go. Now, we all know I've got cream on my hand.
Dan! That'll be ruined.
Help me, I can't work out
Turn around, let me wipe you off.
Rub that head, bitch.
Oh, it's even on the back. Oh, it's like you've got
it in my ear! Oh, that's it.
It's like you've shot yourself in the face.
Wouldn't be the first time. Right, where is it? Is it on the back as well?
On the other side, here. Oh, God. And that. Oh, it's not coming
Guys,
off.
sorry about this.
It's not coming off.
So, we've all got that nan or granddad or uncle and auntie who are set in their ways.
Yes.
Right? For example, I've got a member of the family who, they must be in their late 60s now. And I saw them 6-7 months ago, and one of the first things that they said, they were talking about the Ukraine thing, and he turned around and he went, and I'm going to take away his name to protect him because it was a cunty thing to say. He goes, oh, well, as far as I'm concerned, they can all fuck off back to their country. And I looked at him and I thought, wow.
Are we still there?
Wow.
Are we still there in his mind?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we? Wow.
Are we really that far back?
Wow. And I was stunned by the ignorance, the stupidity, the
non-compassion.
Oh, just I was stunned by it because those thoughts have never crossed my mind. And if even if they have, when I was a teenager, you know, I would question and challenge the thought. Like, what does that mean? Like, what am I saying? Like, what do I actually believe? So I remember looking at him going, wow. Do you think we'd get to the point where, let's say, for example, in 50 years' time, I don't know, saying the word fuck, you know, is now a terrible thing. You mustn't say fuck. Yeah. And we're walking around going, fuck this, fuck that, da, 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 da. Do you think it's possible that you just get to the point where you're like, I refuse to change. I'm now so pissed off at the world, I refuse to change. And everyone has to like it or lump it.
I think there is a point where you'll get to that with like your core values. Everyone's got their core values, so I reckon those you'll live by for most of your life. If you're wrong, some people can change, some people can't. But like, we like to learn, we like to discover new things. Yeah, mate, I'm going to be wearing a tinfoil hat. Okay, I'm going. Did you not see that up there? Then did you not see it?
Shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We'll play loud, surfing the